Every time I turn this camera on, she does this. She hates when I'm not giving her attention, and I can relate. Hey y'all, Jessie on YouTube here with a life update. As you've seen by now, I shot and killed another United States citizen, and I haven't been on here because every free second that I have, I've been either protesting or creating protest materials or trying to spend time with the dogs, trying to do what I can to fight this occupation. But 2 days ago, I had a relapse of my autoimmune disorder, and I'm still healing from that relapse. I have not had an episode that severe in a long time, and it was really scary. It's hard not being able to breathe. But I just wanted to come on and be honest about what life in Minneapolis is like right now. I'm sorry. I don't care what you believe politically or who you voted for. This is wrong. This is wrong. What's happening is wrong. This is not making anybody safer. I have to get out of this country before it kills me. My brother and I are looking to leave the United States. I haven't felt safe here. I'm in the process of selling off everything, my books, my art, everything that I've collected so that we can leave this country. It's time to go. I never recovered. I wasn't done grieving my abuela, who was also killed by the Trump administration. She died of COVID before the vaccine came out in 2020. I was still healing from George Floyd, where I was tear gassed with hundreds and thousands of other protesters with our hands in the air while being peaceful, while being tear gassed. And then my mom passed away in August 31st, 2024. And I thought I understood what grief was. I was wrong. And after she died, we took in my brother, who I was estranged from, and he was homeless and lived with a lot of mental health issues. And he was so violent and abusive with me and my other brother for 7 months until we finally had to put him out. And it broke my heart. I had to put him out on what would have been my grandma's 79th birthday. He was doing things that were leading to us being robbed. He was putting his hands on us. He wouldn't see a counselor or get help. And we finally it was bringing us so much danger that we had to say no more. For the last year of my life, I haven't felt safe in this house, in this city. I look over my shoulder all the time because of some of the things that my younger brother and I went through. And now this, I can't be in Minneapolis anymore. This has been my home for 16 years. And throughout that time, I protested for Jamar Clark, for multiple other Black and brown people that were killed by police that the mainstream media never heard about, because police violence has always been an issue in Minnesota. We are still on Native land. We have one of the largest populations of Native Americans in the country here. And I hate that I can't remember their names, the names of Native people that have been killed by police in Minnesota that I protested for. It broke my heart. And then there was Philando Castile in 2016. Gosh, there's another gentleman. It's making me so mad. I can't remember his name. He was so young. And then there was George Floyd. And then there was Renee Good. George Floyd, Renee Good, and Alex Jeffrey Preety were all murdered less than 10 minutes from where I live. The amount, the violence that I have experienced in Minnesota has been going on for a really long time. But this is my home, and when you have a home, you fight for it. But I don't know if I will survive this country. Already getting out of bed every day without my parents It's sick. It sickens me. We are supposed to be together. I don't want to be in this country at all anymore. New York wasn't safe for us, so we went to Michigan. Michigan wasn't safe for us. I left Michigan because of the racism that I experienced every day. I came here. I'm tired of moving places in the country to be safe. It feels like my skin's on fire. Since all of this happened, the microaggressions don't stop, right? I still had to go to my other job and hear a white woman use the N-word to my face. I had to check her about that. And she argued with me. And then another white woman also at my job said some really harmful things to me. And it's like the microaggressions just don't stop because of what's happening. You know, I know that nowhere in the world is truly safe for somebody who's Black and Latino and non-binary and et cetera, et cetera. And I know what's happening in Minnesota is just phase one, right? They're going to other cities next. They're already in other cities. They have been for quite some time. But this is just the beginning. It's gonna get a lot worse. And what they're counting on is people getting fatigued and not protesting anymore so that it can continue. And I just want to thank everybody who has been doing something that's like above and beyond for this effort, whether it is you organized a protest, you raised some funds for Minnesota. Like, you didn't ask, hey, you didn't wait to get told what to do. You just did something. Y'all are real ones. Thank you. And that's like part of why I'm crying, why I'm so upset, because since my autoimmune illness got triggered, I haven't been able to protest. And I know that, like, I know logically that you don't have to be out in the streets to protest, that there's lots of disabled people who can't do that. But my brain says, bitch, you should be out in the streets, you know? And if anything keeps me from, I don't want to be behind my keyboard right now. I want to be at the Whipple building. I want to be out 24/7. I want to be, it's what my mom would do. It's what my grandma would have done. America killed my parents, and I'm not gonna let it kill me or my brother. We have to go. And I know people are saying now that white people are giving their lives, it's no longer about race magically. It's about fascism. Alex and Renee Good did not give their lives to this cause for you to sit there and fix your mouths to say that this is not about race. They died because they were protecting people from white supremacy. They died because they were challenging operations that the government has launched against people of color. And when you are in true allyship with Black and brown people, you die too. That's what we've been saying all along, is that when you truly have skin in the game, you get killed right alongside us. Back in Jim Crow South and prior to Jim Crow, right, if you were seen as, like, I forget the proper term, but if you were seen as a native lover, an Indian lover, killed, lost your job, you could be raped for it, you could be lynched for it, even as a white person. If you were seen as an allyship with Black people during those times, you were an N-word lover, killed, raped, lynched, lost your job. And that was still about race, right? All of this is in service to protecting whiteness. All of it. So I know it looks cool to cry fascism. And yes, this is fascism. It always has been. But do not try and make divorce the component of race in this. Race is always going to be the first and foremost component in this issue. I dead ass think that a lot of people don't want to focus on race and want to make it about fascism, because then they can live out their, like, I'm protesting the Holocaust in 1944 fantasies. That's not where we are. We have always been in America with 3 Ks. The Nazis learned from us. I'm so tired. I'm glad that the rest of the country is catching up and finally waking up, but we've been doing this for years, decades, my whole life. This has been my whole life. I don't want it to be my next 30 years. I don't. I wish I had taken my parents and fled this country before it killed them. I know this update was really sad, but I'm sharing because I'm just one person in Minneapolis. The collective of us in Minnesota feel what I'm feeling. It might not be for the same reasons. But what you're seeing here is how we all feel. We all feel violated. We feel worthless. We feel sick and angry and sad. I'm sickened. We watched a Native woman get her fingers blown off, right? We watched tribal members be taken. We watched ICE use children. ICE took a man who was responsible for 24/7 care for his child, and that child is now dead, his disabled son. I believe he was an adult, actually, but that was his child. He's dead. It's about the Alex and Renees that you don't know about because you don't live here and because they wouldn't let you know. It's about people having to run into the homes that they're delivering food to in order to get protected from ICE. It's about ICE throwing essentially a bomb, right? A flash bomb into a car full of Black children. It's about those parents who had to look and watch. They had to watch somebody throw a weapon into the car where their children were and smile in their faces. It's about Renee being executed and then called a bitch. And it's about men still not grasping why women are so sensitive about that word. Because for so many women and queer people, it's the last thing they ever heard. And it was the first thing that was said about them while they laid empty, incapacitated, gone on the ground. I never understood why people would say the phrase, "Oh, I'm so glad my grandma's not here to see this," or "My dad's not here to see this." And I get it now. I am so glad that my mother isn't here to see this. And I will not let America put me in a body bag. I refuse. And it makes me so mad that now all these Americans are going to start leaving the country, right? Doing exactly what so many Americans critiqued immigrants that came here for doing. So if you would like to participate in helping me and my brother sell off our possessions and leave the country, I have a Pango, and he and I are putting all of my books up on Pango, as many as we possibly can. So if you're interested and you want to buy some books, please let me know. If you would prefer that I shipped a book out to you directly because you're in another country, or etc., just let me know. I'm going to be holding a lot of grief club sprints on my channel for those who are not in Minnesota and want to support, and also for those who just feel grief right now. We're going to do that. Stay tuned for those updates. Oh, also my Instagram story has been censored ever since Renee Good died, and I posted about it immediately. So if it would help if you happen to follow my Instagram, turn your notifications on for my stories. People are saying that they're not seeing my stories, they're not seeing the content that I've been putting out about what's happening, which is weird because I know those posts are getting seen, but they're just not getting seen by people who follow me. So I'm like, who's watching them? You know what I mean? The reason why it's really important to me that people track my story is because when I go out and I do this work, I usually talk about where I am and what I'm doing. And those updates sometimes are life-saving, right? I posted about a woman who ICE, a 62-year-old Somali elder, I believe she was 62, ICE kidnapped her, and she immediately had to go to the ICU. And I put the word out, and thankfully her relatives were able to contact her and find out about this because of the word being spread. So these networks, it's really important that y'all follow. Yes, like Vic Mensa and Traveling Nurse Alex and Jolly Good Ginger are all great people to follow, but it is also really important to follow smaller pages that are doing resistance work on the ground, because they'll post updates that need to go out within like seconds. And I'm not talking about me. I just mean track what activists in Minneapolis are doing and stay up to date. Follow them. Keep eyes on them. I'm fucking tired, man. All right. That's enough doom and gloom. I'll talk to y'all soon.